In this video, we're going to create a header section using Elementor Pro. Now, if you've been using the free version of Elementor for a while and getting to grips with it, that's fantastic. And as far as I'm concerned, Elementor, the free version, is a revolution in web design. Whether you are somebody that is not a techie, but you want to be able to create your own website, or whether, like me, you work in web design, but you want to be able to hand websites over to clients and empower them to update those and alter those themselves, Elementor really has been the solution to that problem. Now, the free version of Elementor has some limitations. You can't create a header or a footer or other theme building options such as single post or single page or single product or archives functionality. You could often bridge those gaps with themes, but eventually that gets a bit tired. And if you really want to step in and do something that's a bit more branded or unique, then starting to get used to the world of Elementor Pro and theme building is really where you want to go. Now, in this video, we're going to recreate a simple header, which you would actually be able to create with a free theme. If you've checked out any of my courses on Skillset or Udemy, you would see that I generally mix the free version of Elementor and usually the Blocksy theme, because the Blocksy theme gives you this fantastic header here, and it's a very conventional header. It's sticky. It's got a nice little shadow. Oh, I don't think that's enabled right now. And it's everything you would need in a header and looks fantastic. But what we're going to do is recreate this very simple header in Elementor Pro. And once you know how to do that, that's the foundation. From there, we can get into more snazzy effects. We'll make it sticky, but we can add shadows. We can create full page menus. We can do all sorts. We can make the logo and the text change on scroll and things like that. Those are future videos, but right now we will simply recreate this header in Elementor Pro and go through those processes. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is purchase Elementor Pro. So if you haven't done that already, please do consider going through my link in the description. It's not a discount code. It's just an affiliate link. It costs you nothing further, but I get credited with a sale, and it does help me continue doing these. But it's not a discount code. They should give us discounts to give to people like yourselves. Anyway, if you're happy to jump through my link, that would be really appreciated. Now, once you've done that, download that from your subscription and install it into WordPress as a plugin. Now, the next thing you need to do is get rid of this fantastic free theme. We don't need it anymore because we've got theme building options. So what we would need to do is go along to Appearance and Themes, and we're looking for the Hello theme. Now, this is a really, really lightweight theme. It basically is a blank canvas for Elementor. It doesn't give you a header or a footer, but it gives you the ability to make that in Elementor. Now, I've already got it installed, but you would simply click Add New, search for Hello, install it, and then we need to activate it. That's how simple that is. If I take a quick look on here and I refresh, we're going to lose our header, and look at that, the logo's just jumping in and ugh. But you see, we also don't have a footer. So the next thing we need to do is pop along to templates, and we're going to see theme builder. Now, this is where it gets exciting. Now, we can build lots of different site parts or theme elements. We've got the header, the footer. We can create a single post template, a single page template. When we have WooCommerce installed, we would be able to create product archives and single products. Now, I've got to stop going into all of that, and let's just get on with the header, but you can see how exciting it is. We have all these design possibilities. So how does it work when we're building a theme element? Well, we want to build a header, so we're going to click on that. Now you have all of these templates that you could use, these blocks, and by all means install them. Have a look at how they're built and constructed, because that's a great learning experience. But we are going to build from scratch, and we're just going to click on that one. Okay, so building with Elementor is really quite typical. So the first thing we want to do is build a section. Now, I'm going to show you two ways to do this, but the first one is going to be probably the more conventional way that people would build this, and we're going to use two columns, one for the logo and one for the menu. Now, we could alter the height here, but I'm actually going to leave it and just add padding to just keep it as a default setting. So the first thing we want to do is perhaps swing this over, because we would like it at about 15% for the logo, or maybe a bit more. We'll see how that goes. And then we've got this space here for the menu. Okay, let's go to the elements on the top left. We are looking for, we're not looking for site logo, we're looking for image. Now the reason for that is because we could bring in the site logo, and that's all fantastic. We can change this a little bit. That should make it a bit smaller, but it tends to clip it up, which is not cool. But yes, we don't need that. I personally feel that the image widget has a lot more options with it. The only advantage of site logo is that if you change the logo in your theme, it would be pulling that in dynamically. That being said, I think that there are lots more options, especially when you're creating, altering your header later on. You might want to have an image swap as you scroll and things like that. And it's just that this is a much friendlier widget to use with more options. So let's click on that and we'll find a logo. And that looks fantastic. Great. What we would want to do is left align. I'm going to bring the size down a little bit there because we don't need to be bringing a huge logo in. And then this is the interesting part. Here we have link, and we would go to custom URL and then dynamic tags. And you'll see here that we have site URL. So when somebody clicks on that, it's quite conventional that the logo would take you to the home page. Okay, so that's the logo taken care of, and now we need a menu. So we go to the elements up here, and because we're in the header section, Elementor is giving us lots of helpful widgets, site widgets that are available to us. So we could add the site title, we could add page title if we wanted that to be present in every header. I don't. We could put search. I'm just going to put the nav menu because we want to create a like for like sort of menu. Okay, great. So we have a menu there, and you can select which menu you are using. And for this occasion, we're going to use this one here. It's just a general menu. And now we have some very typical styling options. So we would like to right align it. That looks great. Let's take care of some of the styling here. So we would want to, I think I would like to capitalize it, or sorry, uppercase it. I always say that. We should have global set up, to be honest, so we would select one of these and have an appropriate color chosen. Now that's already looking quite fine, and we could pretty much leave it like that. We have pointer width. I think I'll leave that, but we can just have a play, and I always encourage you to just twiddle buttons and see what you like. What do you think? Is that more elegant? I think that suits this butterfly project. And then we have some other things such as horizontal padding. You can see how that adjusts there. I think it's good to have a bit of white space in everything. Vertical padding. Now, I don't think we really need that, and I wish I hadn't toggled it because we will use just padding in the actual section and column. Okay, so that's looking pretty fantastic already. At this point, perhaps before we get into little niggly details, let's select the section, and we're going to change the background just so we can see how that's working. So obviously you can use any color that you think suits your brand. You might want to be going for the black, and then of course you would change the logo appropriately and change the text color to be whatever you would like it to be. You could also, if we select black and then give it a hover color, let's go disco. When somebody goes up onto the header, we could see that there's a bit of a color change. Oh, somehow I whisked that. There we go. You could do that if you want. And that sort of really leads into how much control you now have over your header section. So while we can see this, I'm going to increase the padding as I see fit. So I'm going to go to the section, advanced, link, unlink, and I would like to create a little bit of padding. I'd say that looks about right. Now, actually, I'm judging that incorrectly because if I go to layout and vertical align, I want to start bringing everything into the middle. And you can also do that on columns, by the way. So go to the column and layout tab, vertical align and middle. Now you can still make any adjustments that you need with margins if you think something's a little bit out. I often find that these probably do need a bit of a push up or down, but that's for your design eye. But for the most part, I like to get all of that straight and then go to section and adjust usually the top or bottom padding. Now I think that looks pretty all right. I'm quite happy with that, and I quite like the pointer being there. That's quite nice. Yeah, okay, so let's bring this back to white, which is my preference, or perhaps I'd like it to be a little bit off-white. Okay, I think that will be quite nice. What I would like to do is quickly add a box shadow. So selecting the section, I go along to border, and down here we have box shadow. Just give that a click and you'll see that that shadow comes into play quite easily. Now again, on something like Blocksy, it does give you a shadow, which is fantastic and it looks great, but you don't have ultimate control. So here you could actually change the color of it. You could change the spread and how prominent that is. I tend to adjust the vertical a little bit and bring in the spread, and it looks a bit more indented. I don't know if you can see that there. And then you can increase the blur a bit. I think that looks a lot more lifted and creates a bit more depth. You don't get that control on a free theme, even if it does feature the shadow element. Okay, the last thing we would like to do is actually make the header sticky so that it follows us down the page. That's a really good user experience. So we're going to, again, make sure we're on the section and go along to advanced motion effects. And this here is what we want to click, sticky. We're going to stick that to the top, and you'll see now, as I scroll, it stays on the top. Okay, that is how simple it is to build the initial header, but we do want to tend to mobile design also. So let's click responsive mode and pop along to the tablet. And you can see that we've gone past that tablet breakpoint, and now we have the hamburger menu, which we can style up. So I'm going to select the nav menu, and I would like it to be a hamburger. Who doesn't like a hamburger? We're going to toggle it to the right. So we have this looking at like it's a little bit high, and I'm having a blank moment, which occurs a lot. But I'm going to go to advanced, and let's bring the margin. Let's alter the margin a bit. I think that is good. That's going to be a good user experience because we want it quite big. Okay, so go back onto style and toggle button. Now we've got the background and the color. So let's just show you what these are. There we go. All right, so I would like the background to be nice and transparent. I just like it like that. You would probably have the brand color in here or something like that. That would look really great. I'm going to stick with gray, and I'm going to increase the size so that looks good. Everyone can whack a thumb onto that one. And then we have the actual drop down. So if we click on this, we see the drop down options. Now you can obviously design this however you like. So you can just go and change everything. Look at this. Boosh, boosh. Maybe you don't want to. Probably the most important thing to change is the typography, and make a nice color, but we'll do that in a second. And then vertical padding is really quite important, especially on responsive devices. And don't forget, this will carry down to the tab to the mobile as well. I don't really like a divider type, but you can do that. Where is it? There we are. I would opt for not, personally. Now, just nipping along to the content tab, I would like it to be full width, and I would like it in the center. I think that looks best whether on tablet or mobile. Let's really quickly sort out these colors. So go along to the drop down again, and I would like the text to be one of our global colors, and the background maybe to be a bit off-white and maybe a bit transparent. So let's have a look at how that's looking. Yeah, I quite like that. We have a problem with the hover. So I would like that also to just be white. Yeah, I like that. And you could make it active, but it's a sort of irrelevant actually on here. Still think a bit more vertical padding. And if you wanted, you could actually change the border radius a little bit. So let's have a play with that. If we change the left one, you can just see that changing there. And then we want the bottom one. Oh, doesn't it look nice? And then box shadow. I think that always looks a bit nice. Cool. Right. Okay. That's, obviously go nuts, have fun with that design. And we see that carries down to mobile also. So that's the mobile experience. Don't forget also that you can change the actual column width on different devices, but by default it's going to go to 100. I actually don't like that for the mobile header. So we're going to select the column and go along to and put 20% or maybe 30%. That's fine. And then the next column. And look at that. I think that looks really nice. You can imagine that on the mobile, on the full page, and you're going to scroll and it's just going to stick here. And then when they click, look at that. How beautiful is that? And it's very, very simple to make. Now, this is looking great, but before we end this video, I just want to quickly show you how to make your page a bit leaner. Now, this is going to be a really good consideration for page speed and website performance. The header is going to be present on every page of your site, so you want it to be very lean in terms of how much code you're using. Now, it's quite unnecessary to use these columns if you are thinking in this manner. So we want to try and make it we want to reduce the amount of different elements that are present on our header. Now I'm going to duplicate this, and so we have like for like, and what we would like to do is use fewer elements on this second header. So I'm going to swing this into that column, and obviously that makes this one a little bit redundant. So now it looks like this. That's great. I'm going to reduce the width of this. So pixels, I'm going to give it a fixed value. And then I'm going to go to the advanced tab and width and choose inline auto. I'm going to do the same thing with the menu. So width, inline auto, and you can see what we have here. That's fantastic. Now we have the same two elements in one column and it looks great. That's good. So how do we spread those out? How do we get one this side and the other that side? Well, if we go to the column and we go horizontal align, and we can do space between, space around, that might be appropriate. You would then go to the section and you see you can alter that there. So that's something for you to play with. But going back to the column, and then you've got space evenly, but obviously the best one for this is space around. And you can see that the result there is absolutely perfect. It's disappearing there, by the way, because they're both sticking to the top. So you can see that this is really working well. Let's go to tablet and it looks the same. We can actually adjust that. So it actually looks better, if I'm honest, because we're not having to mess around with the column size. And then if we go to mobile, now this is where it looks a little bit different, doesn't it? So what do we do here? Take this column, because we had this styled to 70, take it to 100, and look at that. I would argue that this leaner header actually looks a lot better. So let's do away with that. We don't need it. Obviously you can change this width to suit your needs. So you might prefer it to be something more like that. Okay, let's publish this and then we'll have a peek at our website and compare it to, this one. We're going to hit publish at the bottom, and then this is where we add conditions. Now, we would like this one to be on the entire site, but, and this is another video, Adding conditions gives you a lot of control. You can add it to different post type archives, different single pages. And what that means is that you can use a different header for different sections of your website. And it really opens up the power of using different menus to help give your customers relevant navigation to the page that they're on. Again, you can't get that in a free theme. On this occasion though, like for like is what we're creating. We're just going to do entire site. So we will save and close. That's it. Okay, let's view the live site. We're going to go along to my other tab and I'm just going to hit refresh. Look at that. How beautiful is this? So this is the one that we just created using Elementor's header theme builder in Elementor Pro, and this is the old one. Now we could have reduced the size on the old one, but there just aren't so many options. But look at that. How beautiful is it? Now obviously I can go back in and I'll show you from the dashboard actually. Oops. No, I did it wrong. Let's go back to the dashboard. That's what I meant to do. Now, if you're thinking, I'm liking it, but I would like to change it, we can hover over edit with Elementor and you'll see that we could edit the header. You could alternatively, within the dashboard, go to templates and theme builder, and then you're going to see the elements that you've built within the theme. So you'd click on that and we would go to edit. But I'll just show you that you can hover over edit with Elementor, click Elementor header, and then we're back here. So we could do anything we want there. We could increase the padding, which is probably what I would choose to do instead of setting a default height. Let's increase that to that. I like it. Update and then preview. Look at that. Really, really wonderful. Now the cool thing as well, I'll just very quickly show you, is you can do funky things such as set gradients on your headers. Now you can check out my background overlay video for some header effects, so you could have different colors on your header, which would look really fantastic. On this occasion, I'm just going to set something like a bit of a radial gradient. We want that to be a little bit lighter and change those locations out. Something like that. I won't fuss too much. I just want to show you the possibilities. Boom. Looks like it has a bit more texture in it. Certainly more unique. Okay, I hope you found this helpful. This is obviously just a first build. It's how to take the step into Elementor Pro and begin to take those steps into theme building. The first of those is always going to be the header, and now you know how simple that process is. There's really no reason to remain with free themes and free header elements. There's so much that you can do within Elementor Pro's header functions and other theme building options. So we're going to cover many more Elementor Pro functions in future videos, because I really want you to unlock the power of web design, WordPress and Elementor, and really let that designer within you start to flourish. So if you've enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, ask anything you want in the comments, or ask for future tutorials. If you're wanting something to be covered, I really do try to respond. Again, if you are looking to get site hosting or Elementor Pro, please do check out my links in the description. They're not discount codes, but I would get credited with a sale, and it helps me continue to do this. And also, if you would like to jump into a complete web design course, I would recommend you check out my Udemy course or my Skillshare course, where we go through design elements, how to plan a website, and also how to actually build one using WordPress and Elementor. So check out the links in the description below. Okay, thank you for watching. I hope you found it useful, and I will see you in another video. Thanks.